the pop culture zeitgeist is very much politics right now. But, to distract from that, it's important to find entertainment and media to escape in, whether that's film or TV or even like music or like a book or something. So I'd say that this year has been good for TV especially. And then I think last year was music for sure.
What's good, y'all? Welcome back to Conversation Piece, your place to discover the untold stories of Indianapolis through the perspectives of all of its incredible people. My name is Patrick Armstrong. I am your host, and this is The Open Door, our monthly series where we literally open the door to the studio and sit down with people from across the community to talk about whatever is on their hearts. If you want to learn more or participate in The Open Door, go to conversationpiecepod.com and click on that link at the top of the page. And shout out to Life in Indy and the team over there for sponsoring this series. Now, without further ado, we're going to get right into it. My guest today is Chris Aragon. Chris, thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me, Patrick. I'm excited to be on the podcast.
I am excited to have you. For folks who maybe don't know who you are, who are listening or tuning in right now, do you mind sharing just a little bit more about yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. So my name is Chris Aragon. I would describe myself as a creative. I've been involved with the indie creative community for about 2 to 3 years now. I've mostly been doing self-taught mixed media art, but I've dabbled in different things like hosting events. I've modeled a little bit. I've been an amateur film and TV critic. And yeah, I have been doing that since 2022, 2023. I'm not originally from Central Indiana. I grew up in Fort Wayne. And so I moved here in 2019, but I've been involved with the indie creative community for 2 to 3 years, but been here since 2019, wanted to move to a bigger city. And I'm here right now with you all.
You're here doing it and doing a little dabbling in a lot of different areas. I like it.
Yes,
I like
definitely.
Well, Chris, what are you here to talk about? What's on your heart right now?
Yeah, well, thank you for having me, and I want to give you your flowers. With
Thanks
your
so much.
Yes, with your podcast, you talk about the year of community, and I'm just happy that I can be here because what I want to talk about, and this is what I hope to give to people who are listening, is I want to talk about pop culture as a means of escapism.
Yeah.
So, it's been a challenging year for a lot of people, but what I can say is we've been eating good with really great film and TV. So I've been someone who grew up watching like a lot of entertainment. Like I've loved movies for a long time and TV and music. So film and TV is definitely my first love. And then I'd say music after that. But we've had incredible film and TV. And, in challenging times like these, at least we can rely on incredible art. And we've had incredible film and TV this year. And I'll go ahead and say the highlights in the film and TV space. Yeah, break it down.
What's some stuff that you've really liked this year?
All right. So when it comes to TV, Severance.
Okay, yep. We love Severance over here.
Severance, The White Lotus.
That's my wife's show. I've only watched season 1.
Okay, it's okay. Like we've got time. We've got time.
I'm a big Walton Goggins fan, though.
Yes, Walton Goggins is fantastic. And then The Pit. That's my third show of the year. The Pit.
That's a doctor hospital show, right?
That's the emergency
I've not watched
room.
It, but I've heard really good stuff about it.
Yeah, The Pit. And then fourth, I would say, is Adolescence.
Okay, I have not watched that either.
Okay,
I'm so behind on stuff. Sorry.
That is okay, because I also want to give another show its flowers, which I believe you've watched. I think I've seen on your Instagram story you've watched. I have not seen it, but I want to give it its flowers. I know a lot of people love Andor.
Yes.
I have not watched it because it's been a while since I've been a Star Wars fan, so I've had reservations.
Sure.
But it looks like I may need to watch it now.
It's great television overall.
Okay.
It's great storytelling.
Wonderful.
Star Wars or otherwise.
Okay, wonderful. So those 4 for TV, and then, of course, I know a lot of people love Andor. And then when it comes to film, there's been a lot, but when it comes to movies, there's only one word: Sinners. And I mean, I'm sorry, I don't want to sound smug or pretentious, but if your number one movie is not Sinners, what are you doing? But that's my thought process. Sinners.
I've definitely seen Sinners. Have not seen it yet. Definitely not. Have not seen it.
Oh, okay. That is well. Hey, you know what? It is on HBO Max now, and you can stream it for free. I heard
that's the wrong way to watch it. That you had to have watched it in the theater, and I feel like I missed the boat. And now I'm like waiting for it to come back. It's gonna come back. It's gonna come back.
That's okay. Right? Hey, you know what? It might come back for Halloween, and I will say, Patrick, to make you feel better, I watched it in IMAX, but not the IMAX that they recommend.
But we have one of those here in Indianapolis.
We do, and I tried to watch it, but then by the time I tried to get tickets, it was up at very front, so I'd be like,
yeah.
And then I'd be like, that's not going to be worth it. So
for sure.
I didn't. But yeah, so I just wanted to recap that those have been the best in film and TV. And I think it's really important, like especially in times like these. But I mean, it can be difficult too sometimes because I think the pop culture zeitgeist is very much politics right now. But, you know, to distract from that, it's important to find entertainment and media to escape in, whether that's film or TV or even like music or like a book or something. So I'd say that this year has been good for TV especially. And then I think last year was music for sure.
Last year music? Well, what about last year's music?
So, I mean, we had the rise of recession pop, you know, like with inflation, I think people are just wanting like fun pop. So of course.
What is recession pop? I need a definition.
Okay. So just fun, unserious pop. So I would say like music wise last year, I mean, we had the rise of Chappell Roan, Sabrina Carpenter, Charlie XCX, Brat Summer Forever. I'm just putting it out there. I mean, we had the Kendrick Lamar and Drake beef, and then
and
Beyonce.
Now every beef that's happening currently in hip hop. So
yes, and then of course Beyonce released Cowboy Carter. So that's like so I think last year music was incredible, and this year I'd say it's TV.
Yeah. That makes sense. I feel like I forgot that all of that stuff happened last year because so much has happened in 2025 already.
Right.
I think when I was first off, thanks for breaking that down.
Yes.
And I think when I think about pop culture's escape right now, I'm thinking about how you talked about there's a lot of intermixing of political content with pop culture currently. Yeah. And I'm a big like Daily Show fan, and I've become a really big Jordan Klepper and Josh Johnston fan. And I feel like that has really helped me process the world because I'm like, this is so depressing that I need to figure out a way to laugh in any way. And even though I feel like I can't look away, it's like these types of things that are happening in pop culture and TV specifically give me the avenue to do so. Yeah. And I like when, for me personally, like I can get the blend of that. Like when you're escaping from whatever the world might be throwing at us, like what are you trying to get to when you're escaping from this?
When I'm trying to escape, you know what? It's funny because I feel like I do my best, but yet that kind of stuff is very intermingled with some of the things we watch. So for example, I'm a big horror fan, and I feel as if a lot of horror movies have a lot of social commentary. So when it comes to the last year, I'd say there are two movies in particular that I've loved. It's Sinners and The Substance. But they have very much, you know, a lot of social commentary. Like, you know, Sinners is very much about racism. The Substance is about, you know, female beauty standards and self-hate. So there's a lot of that. And even, you know, I even think of music too. You know, the Bad Bunny album has actually been on repeat for me this summer. It's very much a summertime album, but you know, he talks a lot about, you know, Puerto Rico and all that stuff. So, I mean, it's crazy how you can find escapism, but you know, it's always blended in somehow, but it's still, you know, with how the media is presented, you can still like enjoy it. And for example, like well, actually, no. I was going to say Superman, but even that had social commentary.
100%.
Dang.
That probably went over some people's heads, unfortunately.
Yes, definitely. I was going to say that, but, you know, I guess K-pop Demon Hunters, that's the last thing I watched where there's like not really any social commentary that I can think of. So there's that.
At least not on the surface that we're seeing at the moment.
Yes, exactly.
When did pop culture first become a means of escape for you?
You know, okay, I'm happy you asked. So I would say that, you know, growing up, you know, my parents raised me on watching a lot of movies, and I was really into, you know, I remember having a lot of VHS tapes of Disney, and then I remember being into Star Wars, and then, you know, I would go to the movies regularly. But I think the movie that really expanded my horizon with what film could be is Kill Bill Volume 1.
Okay.
I think that one definitely expanded my horizon to what film could be. And then since then, you know, I decided to kind of see what other movies or film is out there. And so I remember, you know, like looking at foreign movies, independent movies, like, you know, all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
So, and then that really expanded my horizons with film. And then I'd say with TV, it was watching Breaking Bad on Netflix.
Oh, okay,
When
sure.
everyone was watching Netflix, I watched Breaking Bad. And
I watched Breaking Bad on Netflix as well.
Oh my goodness, that
After
changed.
it had already been out, and yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that show definitely changed like how I view TV.
Okay. What was it about Kill Bill specifically that like expanded your horizon when it came to film? Like, I think I could maybe, 'cause having seen the film, I think I could probably understand it. But like, what was it for you specifically that was like, my mind is open?
So what I would say is it was very different for any movie that I had seen at the time. You know, like I was really shocked at the level of violence. But now when I watch back, I'm like, this is so campy that it's hilarious.
Right? Yeah.
You know, and then like the mix of anime and, you know, you have different elements within that. And I've never seen anything like that. So I'd say that expanded my horizons. And then it led me to, you know, watching like different movies. Like I remember like it led me to watching other great like foreign movies. Like, have you seen Old Boy?
Yes.
Okay, Old Boy was another example, like randomly. I'm like saying some crazy movies, but that expanded, my horizon.
That movie is pretty wild.
Yeah, well, you know what? It's funny because like watching movies like that, I feel like it helps prepare me for watching Game of Thrones. When I watch Game of Thrones, I'm like, okay, this is like nothing because I've seen those, you know?
Well, you know what's really interesting that I just thought about that you were saying that? I'm like, you know what? These movies of hyper violence or hyper anything that has been like fictionalized is actually preparing us for what is happening in the real world right now.
That is very fair.
And maybe in ways that are like desensitizing, which are not good, but also in ways of like, you know, we've seen what this looks like so we can name it. And it's like, we shouldn't be having to use fictional precedent to name like a real world genocide. But hey, that's what's happening.
Yeah.
So like, you know, like I feel like pop culture in a way has kind of given us the foundation to be ready to start calling some of this shit out.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So in a roundabout way, we're escaping and it just brings us back in.
Yes.
As soon as I think I'm out, they pull me back in.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Okay, so one of the things that we're trying to do here in the city is expand the film and television industry. We're trying to make it like a production hub, I think.
Okay.
So we're trying to like, Pattern just had a series of film workshops, and it's about the film industry here in the city and like how we can bring more Hollywood production here. As someone who has dabbled in the critic realm, I'm wondering what your thoughts are on like producing film in the city, in the space. As somebody who's just moved down to Indianapolis in 2019, having just a handful of years here, like what is your perspective on like that industry starting to grow and make headway here in the city?
Yeah, thanks for asking. And, you know, I want to give this disclaimer as someone who loves pop culture. Like, I think we should all be able to say, like, even though we have our niches, we don't know everything about our niche. So I do want to say, you know...
always learning.
Yes, when I did, like, my film and TV criticism, it was just essays that I was doing on a separate Instagram. But I will say, what I think is great is we have places like Can, which really open, like, which are great for, you know, independent film. And then I see that we have things like Heartland Film Festival and things like that. To be honest, I haven't gone yet, but my favorite place is Can, and to know we have places of like Can is enough. And then I know that you were recently involved in Indiana Youth Film Festival.
Shout out to Deanna.
Yes, which I still have not gone, but like seeing that we have things like that. And then I think I saw that even Can had a mixer for filmmakers. Like that's something that's like good enough too, you know? And it's funny too, because I've like dabbled in filmmaking and it's cool, but honestly for me, I'm more interested like Like, I think I would be more into like the criticism side of it, because making movies is cool and all, but it's like, I kind of don't have the patience for it. I'd rather break it down. That's where I'm
somebody else make it, and then we're going to react to it quickly.
Yes, exactly.
I love it.
Yes.
I'm kind of the same way.
Yes.
Well, we are already coming up on our time here, and I really appreciate you coming through and sharing and breaking down the pop culture of today and what you want to see coming out of the community. But as we leave here, always want to ask, what's the best way for people watching, listening right now to support you, to find you, to follow you, if they want to follow along with the critiques that you got going on, if they want to help you make a movie, if they need a model, how do they get in contact with you?
Okay. So you can follow me on Instagram @_ Chris Aragon. And I do have a letterbox too, so you can follow my letterbox on there. Do you have a letterbox, Patrick?
I don't have a letterbox.
Okay, well, letterbox is very much a thing where people use for movies. It's very much like a movie lover social media. And before we end, may I ask, what would your letterbox top 4 be? So basically, 4 movies off the top of your head that are your favorites.
Of all time, just any movie?
4 movies off the top of your head that you
Eternal
love.
Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, Everything Everywhere All at Once, Batman: The Mask of the Phantasm.
Okay.
What's the 4th movie? Oh my God. My mind went to Interstellar, but it's not Interstellar, but I'm going to say Interstellar.
Okay. All right.
I know the first 3. I got them right there.
For me, I'll go ahead and say it real quick. My current letterbox top 4: Sinners, The Substance, Pulp Fiction, and The Hangover.
Okay, there we go. I like it. That's a good mix. That's a good eclectic mix of movies.
Yes.
All right. Well, Chris, thank you so much for coming through. We're going to link all of that stuff in the show notes too, so people can link with you that way. But thank you for giving us your time and stopping by the Open Door.
All right. Thank you so much, Patrick.
Absolutely. Make sure you check out Chris's work and connect with him if you need anything in that media or critic or movie or pop culture space. He's going to get you connected. Go to conversationpiecebot.com for everything else Conversation Piece. Shout out to Life in Indie for sponsoring this segment. And until next time, I've been Patrick Armstrong, and this has been the Open Door. See y'all soon.